Hey everyone, Gino Niccoli, the marketing black sheep, pounddowncrew.com. Out for another walk today. Thought I'd stop for a second and take a minute to answer the question, do calories really matter? I'm even surprised there's so much stuff out there on the internet, especially YouTube, about counting calories. But today I want to address that, and I want to see if I can provide some of you some information that would be good for you to use, at least to chew on for a while. Who knows, might raise your metabolism a little bit while you're going through the thinking process. Look, first off, why would you want to listen to me? Obviously, I'm just another opinion out there, but I think I can help. If you're looking to lose 30, 50, 100 pounds or more of fat weight, there are some things in particular that you have to pay attention to. Now, if you want to be an athlete, if you're looking to be a bodybuilder or something like that, I probably can't help you. That's not my focus. But if you still want to maintain your current lifestyle, if you still want to have, the rich foods and the good foods, and sometimes the nice ice cream or pizza or, beer every now and then, those types of things, I think I can help, because that's where my focus was. I wanted to become healthier, and I wanted to reduce my risks for health issues down the road, but I wasn't willing to give up my current lifestyle of eating decent, fun, rich foods and enjoying life. I didn't want to go to the gym. I didn't want to work out hour after hour. And so instead, I went back to school. I earned 3 certifications in diet, nutrition, weight loss, and fitness training. And I've been helping other people ever since, as well as myself. I developed a program called the Flexivore program that has helped me to lose almost 70 pounds of fat while gaining muscle at the same time. And I did it without going to the gym. I'm still eating pizza, ice cream, and drinking beer on occasion. And although I am in far better shape than I was previously, my focus isn't athleticism. My focus is on long-term health, but still maintaining the lifestyle and the person that I've become used to at 50-something years old. Anyway, let's talk about, do calories matter? Do calories matter? Of course they matter. And anybody out there who tells you different is not paying attention. It's driving me bananas how many doctors, well, DCs anyway, chiropractors, and how many pseudo health professionals are out there almost indicating they're providing medical advice and then telling you that you don't have to count calories, especially the ones out there saying if you would just eat nothing but fat and protein, you wouldn't have to worry about calories because you can eat all of that you want. That's absolutely, totally, and completely not true. There's even a medical doctor out there that says that you don't need to count calories because your body doesn't even recognize the number numerically when you're counting calories. Well, of course your body doesn't recognize that number. That'd be the same thing as saying I'm diabetic, but I don't need to track my A1C or my blood sugar levels because my body wouldn't recognize those numbers. It's ridiculous. Now, are calories in, calories out the only rule of losing fat? Absolutely not. It's a tricky thing. Your body does not want to cooperate with this game. Your body doesn't want to lose any of the fat that it's gained. It saves that. It's storing that for a rainy day, if you will, or a skinny day. All right. But my point is that calories are the beginning of understanding how to beat your body at its own game. Okay. So the first thing that you want to do is get your TDEE. Now, most people talk about your BMR, your basal metabolic rate, but really it's your TDEE that's going to help you the most. I'll put a link down below that will give you a calculator for that. But TDEE stands for total daily energy expenditure. Now, you want to take a look at that because that's going to consider your lifestyle, okay? And how many days you're doing activity and all of that kind of good stuff, all right? But it'll also provide you your BMR, your basal metabolic rate. Now, why do you want both those numbers? You want both those numbers because the reason that all of these doctors and a lot of these professionals out there are saying you don't need to track calories, a lot of the issue is the fact that it's not a precise science. And it isn't. Counting calories isn't precise. And knowing the amount of energy that you use on a daily basis isn't precise. But it's what I call neighborhood science. It'll get you in the neighborhood of where you want to go. And from there, you can figure out what micro adjustments you need to make in order to get yourself really dialed in. It's the same thing when you're counting calories when you're eating food, okay? So if you know your TDEE and you know your BMR, what I have found is that depending on your metabolic issues or lack thereof, depending on your metabolic balance, your metabolism, and your hormonal state, and all of your hormones and enzymes, you can kind of determine a vague number of what amount of energy your body is using every day. And that's really important. No matter what science tells you, no matter what doctors tell you, you have to look at all of that information and then you kind of pick the stuff in the middle. I don't know how many of you are old enough to remember the 70s and 80s when everybody told us that fat and cholesterol and salt, these things were all terrible, right? Oh, and there were 9 planets back then, not 8, okay? Look, at the end of the day, science is fantastic, and the knowledge we're gaining, especially in the technology age, is mind-blowing. But we have to remember that there's a ton of information out there, and all of the sources, all of the information provides you a more accurate view of what you're looking for. So calories absolutely do count, and whether somebody wants to admit it or not, it is a fact that if you eat more energy than you expend in a day, your body will not poop it out, your body will store it. It's called fat. Okay? And if you eat less energy than you use in a given day, your body has no choice but to burn energy it's stored in order to compensate. And it has 2 storages. It has carbohydrate or glycogen storage, and it also has fat storage. The idea, if you're going to try to lean out, is to get your body to use as much fat storage as possible. And the idea, if you're going to try to bulk up, is to get your body to build as much muscle as possible. It's the whole fat thing that we're trying to avoid, right? Okay, so by looking at your caloric values, both your TDEE and your BMR, you can begin to get a vague or a general neighborhood idea of how much calories, how much energy your body's expending. Now let's talk about macros for a second, because that's the next thing that are really important, okay? Then you have to look at macros. How much protein, how much carbohydrate, and how much fat are you eating? Now, a lot of people out there, especially CPTs, personal trainers, people building athletes out there, talk about having 40 to 60% of your diet in carbohydrate. Now, in my opinion, that's a mistake for most of us. Now, if you're athletic and you're really working out an hour and a half, 2 hours a day, plus you're active out there as a daily lifestyle or whatever, hey, maybe in your case, 50% or 60% carbohydrate in your diet is probably a good thing. And when I say carbohydrate in your diet, I'm not talking about donuts or pizza. I'm talking about good carbohydrates, the carbohydrates that your body actually has to work to get the fuel out of. Broccoli, cauliflower, green beans, that kind of stuff, right? But in general, what I suggest for clients like myself who are looking to maintain their lifestyle but burn as much fat as possible, I would suggest that you do about 40% of your diet in protein, about 40% of your diet in fats, and then the other 20 to 30% in carbohydrate. And that's not, to me, that's not a low carbohydrate diet. That's a reasonable diet of carbohydrate for the amount of fuel that you need. Remember that all of your fast-paced energy requirements are going to be met with carbohydrate, okay? Even if you're doing keto, even if you're trying to starve out your carbohydrate storage as much as you possibly can, your body's going to fight you as much as possible to have that carbohydrate or glycogen storage in your muscles and in your liver, so that in the event of an exercise, for example, it has the immediate fuel to convert. It's much easier for your body to convert carbohydrate into energy than it is for fat, okay? So, somewhere in there, those numbers is where you ought to be. But again, you have to kind of get to know your body. You have to experiment and test your body and figure out where is your body responding best. Now, the last issue that's really important, probably more important than all of them, is your metabolic rate, okay? What's your metabolism doing? Do you have a high metabolism or a low metabolism? Now, once you start to gain weight around the middle, okay, you start to get that spare tire or that muffin top, your metabolism is absolutely slowing. That's why that's happening. And you definitely have some things in a dietary perspective that you can do, but you also have some things nutritionally and supplementally that we can do to begin to shift that balance. Hey, while we're at it, if you get a chance, I'd love for you to subscribe to the channel. I'd love for you to make comments, ask questions down in the comment section, ask questions, other topics you'd like to see me cover and see what I can help with. And again, if you're trying to lose 30, 50, or even 100 pounds of fat and you want to do it without giving up your current lifestyle, I would encourage you to go to our website, pounddowncrew.com. There's an assessment form there, and if you'll fill that out, myself or my staff will take the time, we'll call you, and spend some time personally to take a look at your numbers, to actually do an entire body workup for you and an analysis for you, absolutely free, so that you can see for yourself in black and white where your body really stands and what directions you really ought to take in order to make a difference. From there, if you'd like to have our crew work with you, we can do that. But really, this is all about just helping other people beat the obesity game permanently. And the only way it's going to happen permanently is if it's a life thing. All right. Anyway, getting back to metabolism. Once you figure out what your metabolism's doing, then we can begin to kind of manipulate our food intake to boost that metabolism. We could do the same thing with supplementation. We could do the same thing with exercise. Now, we're also going to take a look at your hormonal balances. There's about 4 or 5 hormones right off the top of my head. Leptin, insulin, ghrelin. You've got cortisol. You've got your thyroid working to produce T3 and T4. All of these hormones are super, super important in what your body does with the sugars, the carbohydrates that you're eating, and also what your body's doing with your fat and your protein that you're consuming, and then what it's doing to regulate your metabolism and your fat storage or your fat burn. These are all things that are really, really important. But it all goes back to what we originally said. Do calories matter? They absolutely matter. Until your body stops burning energy for fuel, until you stop having to eat to produce energy, calories will always count, period. Anyway, folks, just remember that losing fat is like playing chess against your body. Your body will never be on your team. It's always going to sit on the other end or the other side of that table. But you absolutely can win the battle, and you can do it while maintaining a fantastic lifestyle. You don't have to do anything crazy or extreme in order to get there. Again, I hope you'll take a second, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment if you like this video, ask questions. Hey, if there's other things you'd like to hear me talk about or that I can help you guys with in beating this fat game, let me know. And if you get a chance, go over to our website, pounddowncrew.com, fill out an assessment form, and let's spend some time together and see what we can do to help figure this puzzle out for you and help you with your own chess game with your own body. You guys take care. Have a great day. Talk to you next week. Bye.